At the end of August 2016, the EU Commission said that Apple received €13 billion in tax breaks from the Irish government. The commissioners called this illegal and urged Ireland to collect the taxes retroactively.
The relationship between Ireland and the EU is complex. Ideologically and in many ways, especially the Irish political elite is committed to the EU.
But the Irish government explained that it disagrees profoundly with the Commission's analysis. Ireland did not give favourable tax treatment to Apple. To understand the bigger picture, we need to take a step back.
We had the lucky combination of being quite low tax, English-speaking, geographically close to Europe and America, and obviously part of the European Union. And that is what drove the first half of the Celtic Tiger boom. The second half was a property bubble, which didn't turn out so well in the end.
After the financial crisis in 2008 put Ireland in a difficult economic situation, the country attempted to attract investors to create jobs. To achieve this, the government lowered corporate tax rates.
What's different about Irish people to many other people in Europe is that Irish people really attribute growth to low taxes. And Irish people really like having low corporation tax. And they're very worried that might change. And almost everywhere else, people, for one reason or another, will resent low corporation tax rates.
The European Union holds a different view and promotes a harmonised corporate tax rate amongst its members. Both positions are at odds with each other.
Corporation tax in Ireland is one of the lowest in the EU. Historically, for quite a long time, it's been 15%, but just recently been reduced to 12.5%. This makes it one of the lowest anywhere in the world, in fact, and it's a major attractor for business.
However, the EU is accusing the Irish government of not even imposing these low taxes on Apple. The reason could be different tax concepts.
The general convention globally is that you tax the profit where it's made. Most of Apple's actual profit, most of the value has actually been created in America. That's where the designs are done, that's where the intellectual property is being created. Even though, of course, the manufacturing is being done here, it's not the manufacturing that makes Apple special, it's the design.
But apart from the legal issue, whether Apple needs to pay the taxes or not, remains a more fundamental question. Do higher corporate tax rates make sense economically?
Corporations don't pay tax. Their customers pay tax, their shareholders pay tax, or their workers pay tax. And none of those things are very good. Worst of all, in fact, is shareholders paying tax, because it means fewer people invest, you get less saving, and you get less growth overall. And less investment means less growth.
The main problem Ireland faces is pressure from other EU members for the EU to impose a uniform minimum rate of corporation tax, which would be a major blow to the Irish economy.
But do forms of taxation exist that are less harmful to economic growth?
VAT is probably one of the least bad taxes, and there are so many exemptions to that if we removed some of those and made the VAT a more neutral tax, then we'd be able to raise a lot more revenue from that and cut these really anti-investment, anti-growth taxes like corporation tax.
The EU approach of proposing unified solutions for diverse problems has been met by many member states with increasingly open resistance. Will this trend continue, and what does this mean for the future?
If current political trends continue in the way in which they have in the last year, spectacularly in Britain under Brexit and recently now in America under Trump, and the political movements I think associated with that, plus what we now see in Poland and perhaps even in France, and who knows what's going to happen in Italy and Greece, I would, if I were a betting man, I would put money on the breakup of the EU anywhere between 10 to 20 years down the road. With what consequences, who knows?
Indeed, it appears like the European Union is at a crossroads. These developments seem to support the Irish cause. As the situation unfolds between Apple, Ireland and the EU, the outcome is still unclear.